Hello everyone, welcome to Innovation and Startups from Flanders, Belgium. Big shout out to the Flanders Investment and Trade Agency for bringing us 5 speakers from 4 awesome startups. But before we get things started, let's capture this moment with the group photo. We would like to invite all the speakers to the stage for a group photo. Okay, please hold your set, Ms. Doris Wu. Let's get this segment started with a big round of applause for Ms. Doris Wu, Commissioner for the Flanders Investment and Trade Agency.
Hello, good morning, and thank you for joining us. My name is Doris Wu, the Economic Attaché for Flanders Investment and Trade in Taipei. This is the third time we participate in InnoVEX with a pavilion over there. And before our exhibitor pitch their stories, I take the opportunity to present you Flanders as the innovation powerhouse. First, talk about market. Market guarantee your business growth and source of revenue. So this is the great European market. And, Flanders is located at the center of the great European market. And 60% of the end market can be reached within 24 hours. And from the capital city, Brussels, you can reach the neighboring hubs like Paris, London, and Amsterdam within 2 hours. It's somewhat like traveling from Taipei to Kaohsiung. It's very convenient. And for starting company, it's important to know that in Flanders, it's much, much more affordable with all the existing convenience. Next, I make a short comparison between Flanders and Taiwan. Both have open and dynamic economy, heavily depending on international business and innovation. And both are very strong exporters. For example, last year, Flanders in EU country is the number 5 merchandise exporter. On global scale, Flanders was the 15th largest exporter merchandise, which is 1 ranking ahead of Taiwan, even though Flanders has only half of Taiwan's land size and less than 1/3 of Taiwan's population. So with the 2 slides, I hope you have an impression about the great European market for your business growth and the central strategy location of Flanders and its capabilities in international business. Next, let's talk about innovation. The map is called European Innovation Scoreboard, released by Eurostat last year. Belgium is among the top 5 innovation leaders in the EU. And Belgium have related strengths, including the public-private collaboration, innovative SMEs collaboration with others, and government spending on R&D. Especially in the northern Flanders, it is a big R&D spender. 3.6% of the GDP was spent on business R&D investment. It is about the EU's average of 2.2% and the target of 3%. So the R&D spending reflects Flanders is really a knowledge-driven economy. It is also reflected by the excellent higher education in Flanders. And universities in Flanders are highly regarded globally and well demonstrated by various international rankings. This chart shows you an overview of the top 5 universities in Flanders and their international rankings. For scale 1 to 10, KU Leuven and the Ghent universities are among the top 1 category. and the other 3 are among the top 3. The top universities show the academic excellence, but also the much needed talent pools. So you will see the number of startups funded by the alumni of the top 5 universities. For example, the top 1 university, Catholic University Leuven, nearing 1,000 startups have been funded by the alumni. And one of the excellent ones will speak after me. So please stay with us. Thank you. Flanders is also home for the 4 world-renowned research centers, including IMEC, which is specialized in semiconductor, nanotech, and digital innovation. Also VIP in life science, VITO in sustainable energy and new materials. Also Flanders MEG in automation and product development. These research centers work closely with the above-mentioned universities, and they are highly accessible for collaboration, co-innovation. They are also important supporter for startups. For example, VIB's biotech incubators has been among the top 20 in the EU countries, and IMEC step up as an accelerator and also a VC funder. So for IMEC's accelerator program, IMEC iStar was ranked the #1 university link business accelerator in the world for a consecutive 3 years. With the dynamic innovation climate, Flanders' startup ecosystem has grown rapidly at the annual rate of 7%, which is only next to Germany, but much higher than the average of EU at 5.5% and Belgium's national rate at 4%. To keep the momentum rolling, Startup Flanders was founded. It is a dedicated subdivision of Flanders Investment Trade with a focus to support startups to connect with incubators, accelerators, industrial clusters, investors, and also the mentioned knowledge centers. The figures. Currently, there are about 3,300 startups and scale-ups with headquarters in Flanders and the capital city of Brussels. The figures not yet significant yet, but it's very dynamic and fast-growing. And startups in Flanders are well distributed all around in the 5 provinces of Flanders. If you want to know more, you can find it from the online open database about investors, startups numbers, the figures, and the funding phases, and even accelerators program. Besides, the latest vision of the state of Flanders startup ecosystem was recently released. You can also find them from the website of Startup Flanders and from the Deal Rooms platform. We at Flanders Investment is your point of contact for doing business in Flanders, Belgium, and for your great European market. Please contact our office and visit our pavilion just over there for further talk and to get some Belgian beers and chocolates. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Doris Wu. And now let's move on to the presentations. Gigabyte per second speeds are here. And to talk about this breakthrough, we have Dr. Van Thielo, CEO and co-founder of Pharrowtech NV. Welcome.
Thank you, everyone. 大家好. I'm Wim, co-founder and CEO of Pharrowtech, startup in Belgium, and we enable the next generation of wireless communication, very high speed, gigabit per second. In the coming 10 minutes, I'll give you a short introduction to that. So first of all, why? We have been consuming wireless data, tons of it, and roughly since the 80s, 50% year on year. So it started with the PCs back in the days, followed by Windows 95 and then so on. Note that this axis is exponential. And today we're really going to the gigabit per second age, mostly driven by high resolution graphical contents, HDMI, but also AI, for instance, generating tons of data that originate from somewhere, need to go somewhere. So again, 50% year on year, so that's roughly 50x every decade. So every now and then you really have to develop a revolutionary new technology to keep up with that trend. And that's what we are doing. Most immediately, we see three big business opportunities. The first one being in infrastructure. For instance, fixed wireless access, that's where we are replacing fiber to the home with a wireless connection, which you can deploy much faster and much easier at lower cost. The second market that we're going after is wireless HDMI. So for instance, as a consumer, think about how many cables you still use today. That's not that many. Everything has been made wireless via Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, except for HDMI. That's really the final cable you're still using in the home. And we're getting rid of that cable for you. And then finally, Wi-Fi. Standardization has started to include very high frequencies, 60 gigahertz into Wi-Fi, and Pharrowtech is one of the leaders in that standardization process in IEEE. So we are really driving the next generation Wi-Fi 8 and beyond. So our vision and mission is to make high-speed wireless available everywhere. And by everywhere, we don't just mean physically everywhere, but also for everyone. And most important in that is that we are building all this technology, which is high-end, in vanilla semiconductor technology. In our case, TSMC, plain digital CMOS technology. So we don't use any exotic materials or something to make sure that we can really scale this to very high volumes at low cost. And in terms of mission, I think two words are really key here. We accelerate and simplify the adoption of this technology for our customers. It's a very hard technology. We're using very high frequencies, and if you do that not in the perfect way, you're losing your signal very easily. So it's not easy to adopt for our customers. We've noticed that. And for us, it's very important that we make this as simple as possible. We really want to guide our customers in the adoption of this new technology and ensure they can deploy it on a large scale. So in a nutshell, what do we build and what do we ship, what do we sell? At the core of it, we're selling an RFIC, a transceiver chip, fully in CMOS. So we designed the chip, the package, we designed the software that goes with it. And this can support up to, let's say, 7 gigabits per second. The current speed is limited by another component, the baseband, to 3.5 gigabits per second. Not just the chip, but also the antennas, that's what you see there in the bottom. That's also developed by us. And the reason is you need to really, at these high frequencies, you need to closely co-design the chip and the antennas. So we support both. And then next to these products, we are also offering a lot of reference designs, application platforms. The one on the top left is a fully integrated wireless module with a PCIe interface that also contains the digital baseband processor. The one in the middle, top row, is an outdoor CPE device, which is currently already in a couple of field trials worldwide for fixed wireless access. Top right is a high-gain version of that will have a longer range. And then on the bottom, you see two eval kits, the rightmost being for wireless HDMI, the second market that I talked about in the beginning of the presentation. We're a startup, we're 5 years old, spin out from IMEC, that was mentioned earlier in the presentation by Doris. But very early on, so with IMEC, we have a very heavy technology background, but we very quickly attracted a lot of industry, also business talent to the company. You see a couple of names here. No doubt you recognize names like Qorvo, Broadcom, Cadence, Dell. So we have a lot of industry leadership in the company, and also importantly, we have 4 deep tech VCs on board, all based in Europe, 2 of them in Belgium, 1 in the Netherlands, 1 in the UK, to sustain our growth. Headquartered in Leuven, in Belgium, in Flanders, the region just mentioned by Doris. We have a design center in the UK. We have presence in the US, more commercial support, and then also we have our wonderful team here in Taiwan, Patrick and Grace, who are always ready to support you here locally. Very briefly, our core values, as I already emphasized, we really want to make this technology easy for our customers to adopt. So customer comes first for us. So if you want to do business with us, we will treat you well. One team, very important. We have a lot of experts, but we need to simplify this. We need to be one team towards the customer, not just individual experts. Also different cultures. We need to speak with respect to each other, but still confident. We need to make our point. And finally, excellence. Technical excellence, business excellence is really very high for us. And Being in Taiwan, you all know what that means, being home to TSMC. That's an example for us. Finally, we're a spin-off from IMEC. We started this work already in 2005. That's a long time ago in terms of technology, where we started with early prototyping, technology development, R&D. We built chips for Infineon, for Panasonic. These are public disclosures at 79 gigahertz, at 140 gigahertz. And then in 2019, we started up Pharrowtech. 2022, we raised our Series A, and now we're scaling to volume production. In short, we're a very deep tech company. We believe we have a breakthrough innovation, very high frequencies, enabling gigabits per second wireless communication. World-leading team, among them a couple of members here in Taiwan. And finally, technology is commercially validated and future-proof, and we hope to scale it to large volumes soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ventillo. Now let us direct our attention to the illustrious journey of innovation at Barco. Guiding us through this esteemed narrative is Mr. Ethan Tsin, Senior R&D Manager at Barco. Please welcome.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ethan. I'm an R&D manager at Barco, leading a team working on our embedded software system. Today, I'm going to, with my colleague, we are going to share with you the innovation journey of Barco. It's been 90 years. Can you imagine such a long time? So it's hard to squeeze 90 years into 10 minutes, right? So I think the best way is, let me show you a quick video that was created very recently to promote our celebration. Let's go. It's a nice video, isn't it? Just like a movie, right? Something like that. So why could Barco has been so successful for such a long time, 90 years? That's because creativity is our heartbeat. Innovation is our reason of existence. That's why. You can tell from the video, even with such a long age, Barco is still a very energetic and modern company. So today, I will briefly tell you about some history, but first of all, on the right side, early this year, Barco won an Oscar award in the scientific and the technical category. That's because Barco's significant impact to the movie industry. That's why. And what happened 90 years ago? In 1934, it all started in that year. A brave Belgian man, Le Jeune Depuis. I'm pretty sure I'm wrong about the pronunciation. So he started a company selling one product. It's called radio. So Barco stands for Belgian American Radio Corporation, right? Then what happened in the next 90 years? In order to make you completely understand our great history, I prepared 385 slides to, hey, don't go away. I'm just kidding. I will just give you some highlights of our great history. Very quick highlights, okay? 1960s, Barco created a color television. It is the first television in the world that is compatible with two systems, PAL and ESCOM. The first one in the world, so a breakthrough. Then, 1980s, projector. Barco moved into the market of projectors and did an excellent job to make it perfect. So in that era, Barco is the name of projector. I have a French friend. It's a true story. He told me when he was young, when everyone talks about projector, they say Barco. They visit a friend, they say, hey, do you have a Barco at your place? So Barco is the name of projector. Moving to 1998, another breakthrough in soft copy diagnosis in medical healthcare. 2011, one more revolution thing. It's called, we created 5 megapixel super high resolution product for tomosynthesis. For my Taiwanese friends, it's called 3D 断层乳房摄影，是非常先进的医疗技术。Then, very recently, 2012 is an important year. Another revolutionary product in a different industry we call enterprise. It's called ClickShare. ClickShare. I will talk about that later, but this product brought to the world wireless presentation and then wireless conferencing. Yeah, more detail will come later. So basically, our operations are centered around 3 core markets and industries, including healthcare, enterprise, entertainment. We have perfect solutions for each domain. Just like most companies in the world, we are seeking for sustainable and profitable growth. What we do, for example, we try to make ourselves as a lean company to be more focused. We try to reduce our footprint. But here I want to highlight, innovation is very essential to be sustainable and profitable. So in Barco, we provide end-to-end solutions from hardware to software to services, everything. Again, looking at our different industry market, enterprise, imagine this is an office building. We have solutions for different meeting rooms, different scenarios. Then, entertainment, imagine it's an auditorium or a cinema theater. Also, our solutions are around every corner in such building. A small number I want to share with you. In Taiwan, 70% of cinemas are using Barco's projectors. 70%. So every time you go to see a movie, you are using Barco's product. And globally, 50%. So half of the world are using Barco's projectors in cinemas. Healthcare industry. So in a medical building, we also provide solutions everywhere. So how did we do that? I believe you already get some sense of feeling. In the 90 years, our revolution, we were able to master the entire visual chain from hardware like projectors, video walls, to image processing, encoding, decoding, optimizing, everything, even capture the image sources, everything. That's the foundation of our technology our strength. Okay, here I want to highlight one thing to you because we have an R&D center in Taipei, Barco Taipei office, and we are working on the enterprise industry, focusing on our product called ClickShare I mentioned earlier before. So I want to use, that's a great example of entrepreneur venture. So what is entrepreneur? Different from entrepreneur. Entrepreneur means promoting innovation inside a company. So we call internal innovation or internal venture, right? So 2012, we launched this product, ClickShare, to do wireless presentation like this. So with this button, plug into your laptop, you just click and share. That's why we call it ClickShare. So no wires at all, completely wireless. But we are not satisfied with that. We keep improving. We keep doing innovation internally and scale up. So we keep the momentum moving on, reinventing ourselves, perfecting our product. So 4 years ago, we launched a new product way beyond the wireless presentation. It's called wireless conferencing. So imagine now it not only sharing the content in a meeting room, you can directly do conferencing, meetings. Either it's a Teams meeting, Zoom's call, with our product, also wireless. And this year, we launched our newest product, ClickShare Bar. You can see the real product in our booth, just like Doris mentioned, very close. So here I want to highlight, it's very important to have both incremental and the disruptive innovation. Within a product, we keep finding the better way to do incremental innovation. And every several years, we have to do something disruptive innovation, disruptive revolution. That's what we are doing. Okay, a little highlight on ClickShare Bar. So nowadays, I believe all-in-one bars are very common in meeting rooms, right? But I want to highlight one thing. Our ClickShare Bar Pro is not only a video bar, because we integrated all-in-one bar with our strong foundation technology of wireless conferencing. So it's very important it can bring enterprise simplicity. With only one device, you don't have to set up a lot of things. You can start your conferencing, your meetings effectively, efficiently. Also, it builds on our top quality and security. So our newest product, ClickShare Bar Pro. And also, I must mention our suppliers' partnership are part of our solutions as well. They are the fuel. They are the fuel of our momentum. You can see that our headquarters also located in Belgium. And we have a very strong R&D center in Taiwan, working with many Taiwan companies, suppliers, partners. And finally, I want to share with you what I have learned, the key elements of innovation, the key elements of successful innovation. There are 3 of them. First of all, we involve everyone, the whole organization in the innovation process. It's very important. Everyone could reserve their time working on innovation. And secondly, we have a well-established process to funnel the entire flow, starting from ideation and forming a workforce team, then keep improving for the final selection. And third, we do it cross-functionally. Cross-functionally, that means different people, not just R&D, not just engineering, but also marketing, sales, HR, IT, etc. That brings a lot of diversity to our innovation. Okay, I think that's all I want to share with you. I hope you are not bored. And speaking of innovation, it's very important that you can see the right button. Many good ideas great ideas started from our Barco Labs. So here, I want to introduce you my colleague, VP of Barco Labs, Ravin. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ravin from Barco Labs. Thanks, Ethan. So what is Barco Labs? It's a group of people thinking really hard about the next problems and the next ideas, some disruptive, some incremental, but mostly disruptive, that will come into our pipeline for products across our various business units, the enterprise, healthcare, and entertainment that Ethan mentioned earlier, but also potentially other segments as well. Now, the thing about Barco Labs, because we are looking further ahead, we have a process to manage our innovation pipeline, we call it. We manage various seed projects, right, where you have 1 or 2 people coming up with an idea. Let's go test it out, make a proof of concept, and then build momentum onto it. And if traction occurs, then we develop that into an incubator, right? Give it a bit more business support, more technical support, and then try to bring it towards a product. Now, as Ethan mentioned, we have a whole visual chain that we develop. And because one of the main themes here at InnoVEX and Computex is AI, I thought I would share a little bit about how we are bringing AI into our visual chain through various Barco Labs seed and incubator projects. So one example on the visual display side is using generative AI to enhance content. So imagine you have a Barco projection mapping environment with lots of pixels, but then your content may be limited to 4K, typical movie-style content. Now imagine displaying such content on this wonderfully wide canvas. Now, if you just implement classical image up conversion, it might look okay, but you're missing an opportunity here. And that's where with generative AI to, let's say, add detail, but subtly so, right? We don't want to distract from the creative intent of the show, but just by adding a little bit more subtle detail, it adds to a richer overall experience. So that's one example for the display side. On the image processing and rendering side, we have things like compute enhancement of video switching. So let's take an example of this broadcast today. You have lots of cameras, you have all these feeds going into a video switcher, and then a broadcast director is going to figure out, am I putting camera 1 on the prime viewer or camera 2, or am I doing the presentation slides? This can all be automated somewhat with AI tools, and we have done this, with the virtual director platform. So, it provides, I guess, an assessment of what's happening. Is this a panel discussion? Is this a single speaker with a PowerPoint? Or perhaps it's something a little bit more exotic, like a dance group, right? All intermingling. We have the ability to figure out, okay, this is person A, this is person B. We don't need to know your identities, so we can preserve anonymity, but we can track you, and based on what you're doing, right? Maybe you're a key focus of the rest of the group. Then these AI models can highlight you. Or if all of the attention is on the presentation material, maybe focus on that, right? And certainly there's various compositions of, combining the various elements. Now, this is a valuable tool. It doesn't have to, completely replace the entire broadcast studio, but it can provide these presets to the broadcast director. This allows people in the future to have maybe their own broadcast, easier to set up. Imagine, YouTube studios, TikTok studios, so you don't really need to have all of this in place. On the other hand, for media switch or media servers, rather, where we prepare content, we do fine-tuning based on the various displays that we have. We are able to apply AI models to figure out what's important in the content. For example, if you're playing back a movie on a dim projector, it's really hard to see what's important. You can apply certain color grading or tone mapping parameters to accentuate the characters' faces, right? Because that's really what we care about. What is their emotion, right, in the scene? Now, Ethan mentioned ClickShare, and I think that in the future, our AI models will be able to really help, once again, using the context of the virtual director, right, as part of that conferencing system. Who should you focus on, right? Or how do you show interaction between people, communicating, right? Now, on the medical side, we have this ultra low latency AV over IP and secure video feed management system for operating rooms. Now, it's trusted, fully approved by the FDA, but we are now bringing compute to that. So imagine surgeons in an operating room having the benefits of AI classification, foreign object detection, right? This reduces complications during the surgery as well as improves patient outcomes. On to our capture side, where we have a skin camera imaging system called Dermicus. And once again, AI classification allows us, or allows dermatologists rather, to track better, issues that their patients have, and then, provides a, let's say, a sooner risk assessment if things are maybe not going well, right? It never hurts to be a little bit cautious. Ethan mentioned the success recently, winning a technical Oscar at the SciTech Awards. Now, maybe a little bit, something a bit more unconventional. We have a new display technology called light steering. And primarily, the interesting thing here is that this is not based on AI. It is based on classical optics, which means that you have to figure out how do you shape light, physics, right? You need to know everything is predictable, but relies on very heavy compute nonetheless. So what this technology allows us to do is to shape illumination in a projector based on content. So imagine you're watching Star Wars, right? And you think, wow, the lightsabers need to be much brighter, right? Or, Thor's lightning in a Marvel movie. We are able to do that because we can concentrate the illumination into the highlights in real time. We basically figure out how, to bend rays without any kind of mechanical device, right? Just using phase propagation. We are able to shape the illumination and concentrate them into the highlights. And we do that by basically moving light away from the shadows. So this actually leads to a higher dynamic range or higher contrast imagery. Now, it's very complicated, requires a lot of algorithms and compute power to do in real time, but there is opportunity as well with AI to maybe tailor this to specific content, to specific use cases where really bright imagery makes an impact. So that's light steering, and we're very excited to deploy this both to cinema, which we just launched, and as well as to the home environment. Now, here at InnoVEX, we have a demo related to the ClickShare and related to the meeting experience. And we call it the meeting room of tomorrow. And the idea is that, today's meeting rooms, while they work well for, communicating important details, a little bit of that experience is lost. Why? because you see your colleagues in tiny little boxes, right? And when you're looking at the PowerPoint, you really, sometimes you don't even see them at all. And during this meeting, you really have no idea who is looking at who. You see your colleagues talking, but they're kind of a talking head. They could be talking to you or talking to another colleague or just talking in general to the whole group. And we thought, how do we change this? So we developed a concept involving large projection, right? So we created a very large display of about 160 inches in this demo. And what that allows us to do is to show your colleagues, your remote colleagues, in life size. So I think it's a very different experience seeing a person in a little box versus seeing a person full life-sized. And that's one part of the advancement. The second part is that we are now able to also provide accurate gaze correction, so that if I'm looking at Ethan, let's say, he would be looking at me. And meanwhile, if he was actually talking to someone else, let's say Brian across the aisle, then it would look like he was talking to Brian, and I'm like the third person. And that's a very natural way of communicating, right? Rather than this one person sees what everyone else sees, right? It's very, you lose that interpersonal interaction. So we would be very excited to have you come by our booth and take a look at it and try it out in person. And yeah, that's just a little sample of some of the innovation going on at Barco Labs. And excited to see products in the future and work with the rest of you guys if you have ideas relevant to us. Thank you.
Now let's wrap our heads around the game-changing world of silicon photonics and see how it's shaking up semiconductor innovation. Here to clue us in is Mr. Yao Tong Chang, a PDK engineer from Lucada Photonics. Let's give him a big welcome.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Sheikh from Lucada Photonics. It's my pleasure to be here today to introduce how silicon photonics lighting the path to semiconductor innovation and what's the role of the Lucada involved in. So first, talk about ourselves. Lucada Photonics were founded in 2014, spin off from IMEC at Belgium, Flanders. And what we do, we provide the EDA tool for silicon photonics, or the circuit design software for silicon photonics. And our headquarters is in Belgium, and we have office in Shanghai, a collaboration partner in North America, and now we have a reseller in Taiwan, TADC Humen Keji. And now we have about 25 to 30 experts specialized in photonic and software to keep pushing the boundaries of silicon photonic technologies. And semiconductor industry is currently facing significant challenges. First, we have a data explosion driven by AI and high-performance computing, which means now our data transmission rate is not fast enough for this demand. Because computing power is growing out rapidly, but data transmission rate is not. So which means we might face traffic jam during data transmission. And secondly, because of this data explosion, so we need more and more data center to deal with the data. And this increasing demand for a data center is leading to a serious power consumption issues. Nowadays, data center is account for about 2% of global electricity usages. And lastly, Moore's law is reaching to its limit. When transistor scaling reaches to the physical limit, we need an innovative solution on the packaging or system architecture side to keep improving semiconductors' performance. And silicon photonics offers a viable solution to address above issues. And why silicon photonics presents a promising solution to those challenges? There are mainly two reasons. First reason is because the special physical properties of light. By leveraging the unique properties of light, silicon photonics enables high-speed transmission with minimal loss, which can greatly improving data transmission rate and also power consumption issues. And second is because silicon photonics is CMOS compatible, which means silicon photonic chip can be fabricated by CMOS processes. And it brings two benefits. The first benefit is it enables large-scale photonic integration, and which means it can scale down the system size and also increase the manufacturing volume. And the second benefit is because both silicon photonics and the microelectronic are fabricated by the same CMOS processes, so it will be easier to do electric optics co-integration or co-design. In short, silicon photonics offers you a high-speed, low-loss, and CMOS-compatible solutions. An application of silicon photonics is widely spread. First, because its high-speed, low-loss transmission capabilities, so it makes it ideal for data transmission, communication, and interconnectivity. And secondly, because the high sensitivity and the compact size of the silicon photonic chip, so it makes them perfect for the biosensing and LiDAR. And in the field of AR, VR, silicon photonic chip offers a low voltage, compact size solution for light modulation and sensing. And lastly, silicon photonic can also be applied into the quantum system. And the benefit of the photonic-based quantum chip is it allows to operate in the room temperature and also easier to do the large-scale integration. And the market of silicon photonics is growing up rapidly. By the marketing research, the compound annual growth rate of silicon photonics is close to 25%. And this growth rate is much higher than the overall semiconductor technologies, highlighting the great potential and increasing demand for silicon photonics solutions. However, silicon photonics still have its own challenges. So far, to develop a photonic chip, you require a lot of time and investment. So this is the design building phase to build a photonic chip. So first, it takes you 2 months to 3 months to design the chip. And then it takes you another 6 months to 12 months for the chip fabrication and packaging. Finally, you will get back the chip, and you have to measure or test the performance. And if the measurement is not okay, you have to go back to design phase and start the cycle. And each photonic wafers run costs you from 100K to 500K US dollars. And now the problem is because now photonic is not as stable as microelectronics, so you cannot make sure if you can get the working chip in one cycle. And then you need to do several design iterations to get the working chip. And if you need to do several cycles, it means it costs you extra time and investment. Therefore, the first time right photonic design is crucial. And that's how Lucada Photonics stepped in. We provide you the software to enable the first time right photonic design. This is the photonic circuit layout designed by our software. And how Lucada provides you with the first time right design software? First, we provide you with a comprehensive design kit. It is very important that what you design be the standard for fabrication. And in Lucada, we provide you more than 20 mainstream photonic PDK in the world to make sure what you design in our platform meet the standard for fabrication. And now, not only just the PDK for foundry, we also extended to assembly design kit for packaging house and test design kit for test house. So we make sure what you design meet the standard from inside the chip to the edge of the chip and now to outside of the chip. And also, we have the comprehensive simulation and the layout function for the circuit design. We have the flexible placement routing function for the circuit layout design, and also have the component level and the circuit level simulator. And we also have other software collaboration partners. So you can export our design to ANSYS Numerical to do the comprehensive device simulation, or you can also export design to Siemens LEdit for a circuit layout. And we also export the other special function, such as the schematic capture or post-layout validation. And the other one of our strengths is because we spend from IMEC, and IMEC are the world's first foundry doing photonic tape-out. So we already accumulate more than 20 years experience at the circuit design and the fabrication service. So in short, in Lucada's platform, you can design from a single photonic component to circuit. From circuit layout, simulation to validation, Lucida provides you with the one-stop photonic design platform. So Lucida's the vision is to provide you with the first-time right photonic design software to reduce the time and the cost. But we won't stop here. We also aim to build a strong photonic ecosystem to facilitate the overall supply chain. Start from Belgium, extended to Europe, and now we go to all over the world. From upstream to downstream, from industry to academic. We work together, we thrive together, and we keep push the limit of silicon photonic technologies. And now we're currently actively seeking the partners in the photonic design, fabrication, and packaging. And if you are also start from microelectronic and you are interested in silicon photonics, welcome to talk to us. And we are in the Belgium Flanders Pavilions. Thank you so much.